Hey Earthlings!
Hey there! In this video we're gonna share with you why we eat raw vegan predominantly. And we're gonna share with you some of the most amazing benefits that we have experienced during the past few years eating this way.
This is the start of something new. This is the start of something magical. This is the start of something new. This is the start of something true.
So why we eat raw at the first place?
So for me that journey started about 3 years ago, and it had nothing to do with, you know, a trendy diet, wanting to look more beautiful, or I don't know, raise my vibrations or something. I was feeling very ill. I had massive skin issues that spiraled out of control so much that I had to go to the hospital, and they wanted to keep me there for several days on intravenous antibiotics. And luckily I didn't do that. And I started seeking information on YouTube and I found the raw food diet. And I found so many testimonials about how people have healed all kinds of things using the raw food diet that I just tried it. I went raw overnight and I entered into an intense healing crisis. But I came out of that and all my symptoms were gone. And it was not only the skin issues. I was having intense heart palpitations and like I think thyroid issues that were not diagnosed. But yeah, it was not nice. I was really feeling bad. And then 1 year later, when Ram and I were kind of transitioning into a more romantic relationship, he had a tooth gum infection.
That was like the hardest time of my life. Like I couldn't eat anything that I'm used to. I was like, fuck, the only thing I can eat is smoothie and juice. And boom, that was the beginning of my raw journey.
Kind of unintentional.
Yeah, and like by being with Miia, which is like full power like raw diet, she was like really motivating me a lot. However, I stayed like this for a few months. That was like the summertime, and when the winter came I was like, I'm craving cooked food. And then it started again, like really more present in me when we were traveling in Ecuador and had access to an amazing fruit and lived in a fruitarian community.
In Fruit Haven. You might know Kevin, Raw Healing Mastery. Yeah,
we'll put a link in his YouTube somewhere in the description. He inspires me a lot in this, and like seeing him, how healthy, how he could work in the farm for like several hours during the day. I thought like raw vegan people would be like super weak, but having those examples in front of me, working with them and living with them for several weeks changed my perception about this diet. Yeah,
and like for me, by far the biggest reason why I eat this way is actually understanding how the human body works. Most foods that we're taught to eat are actually toxic to the body, and our body is not able to eliminate efficiently all the accumulated toxins, acids, mucus that accumulates in the body, and this creates a lot of illnesses. So this simple understanding that raw foods are basically the only kind of foods that don't cause this, that allow the body to enter into an elimination process and to thrive without like blocking it up with all kinds of crap. And I really couldn't go back to eating a fully cooked diet anymore, even if I wanted to, because I've tried and I would just feel crappy. And like the contrast of how I feel becomes so obvious.
Yeah. For me, it felt, when we were in Ecuador eating all this exotic fruit, it felt so good in my body. And when I switched to eat cooked food again, I feel like the heaviness was like kind of dragging me down. And since then I like became very sure about that this is the healthiest way that I'm going ahead. Yeah,
like you really notice a difference when you are eating raw for a while and you go back to cooked food. You can really perceive how clogged up you feel, the mucus that your body is creating, feeling more tired, feeling heavy. Just like I remember after eating many months raw, I ate a lentil soup, I think, and immediately, like it was literally one bowl, and immediately after I just like fell asleep for 2 hours, which never happens with raw food. It's like, guys, you're meant to get energy from food. Food is not supposed to take your energy away so that you need to rest. You're supposed to feel more vitalized and energized.
Yeah, and this is what happened to us, like after a raw meal, like when we eat fruit, it feels like we don't need to rest at all. Like we eat it and then we go, like here we're working the farm, we go to the farm, more energy.
Totally. And also, I was a big coffee drinker before, and maybe like half a year into my raw diet.
Makes sense because you're from Finland.
Yeah, we drink a lot of coffee, of course, you know. And maybe like half a year into my raw journey, I started feeling hyper from coffee, like nervous tension, you know. I couldn't sleep anymore. My heartbeat went up. I had to stop. And that was perfectly fine because I realized, whoa, I actually feel like a constant high energy level throughout the day. I don't need coffee. It was just a habit. And actually there was an emotional reason for that too, but that's another story.
That's another video actually. Bumblebee. And I also sleep less, like 6 or 7 hours a day is more than enough for me. I usually go to sleep like at 12 and I woke up around 7. And like my whole day is full of activities, like I work in the farm, I do other things, and I feel like all this energy, the constant energy that I have, like rarely people around me have this like boost during the whole day.
Yeah.
And even like working in the farm feels like easier for me. Like it feels I can do more hours than I used to do when I eat like normal diet.
Yeah, but
Vegan
this is
diet.
not the case for everybody. I, for example, still sleep quite a lot, but that's because I have a really big adrenal fatigue. However, I can say that the quality of my sleep has improved a lot. Like I used to have this sleep, how do you call it, like sleep paralysis a lot, and also very intense heart palpitations sometimes at night, and this is completely gone.
Other reason that I prefer to eat raw, that it uplifts my vibe, it uplifts my energy. Like I feel most of the time when I eat fully raw, I feel like I'm more present, I'm more connected to kind of like my higher spirit or
Inspiration.
yeah, it feels like I can create something creative. I can like put my energy in something productive. I can like do things like, for example, when I do sessions, I feel like I'm so tuned to the person that I can see and feel every single emotion they feel or they go through.
Totally. You become
Yeah.
more sensitive, like to yourself. Like I can feel more my emotions much more, and this is one of the reasons why it's so hard for people to go raw, because suddenly you feel everything that you've been trying to suppress all your life with cooked food.
Exactly. This is why many people find it so difficult to go raw, because if you go, you would face like your sensitivity will increase a lot, and then you will face all those emotions.
Yeah, and this sensitivity links to spirituality as well, because you become sensitive to your intuition, to other people. I have become such a good channeler since I went raw, because I can pick up on energies, whatever I want. I can tune into things and I can sense it in my system.
Yeah, exactly. And people living with us, it's kind of like it's difficult to hide. Like if somebody felt like angry, we sense it like immediately. If somebody felt like grief, we also sense it. And like envy, jealousy, like all this emotion is like kind of drawn in a like a blank picture. So we are like very aware of our emotion and other people's emotion. And this is not like a ultra spiritual or like a special gifts or whatever. Like any human can feel those, and we are not connected to those gifts because we are not healthy. Like our like body is blocked with so many blockages, and our emotional body is overwhelmed with like suppressed things.
Totally.
And when you start the healing journey, like the raw journey, it's linked to the healing journey, and kind of like
physical goes together with the emotional, the spiritual, the mental. You can't, you know, expect to be, I don't know, like fully healed if you are not physically healed.
Yeah.
Because the physical body is your vessel, it's your vehicle in this life, and through the body you sense everything, you take in information. You know, you cannot be connected in the physical world to things if your physical body is completely congested and like
and you can know from your own experience. I don't know if you have tried eating fasting or eating raw for several times. You can feel those things in your body. And probably if you are vegan already, many people have told you, but plants have feeling too. If you eat raw vegan, you can tell them, well, yeah, actually my fruit fall down from the tree.
Yeah,
and
it's an offering. Like literally when you eat fruit, you are not harming the plant. It's almost like an, you know, like an offering or a gift from the tree that they, you know, it's meant to be eaten. A fruit is meant to be eaten. And what we do here, like we then, you know, plant their seeds sometimes. In the ideal world, that would be the, you know, the exchange.
Like you eat the fruit and you give the peels to the ground, you make compost.
And you know, plant the seed.
Guys, if you haven't dated a fruitarian girl, go and do it now. They smell so amazing. Like almost every girl I met that eating raw vegan, she smells like really amazing. Especially this.
But that's only after.
I'm so addicted.
That's only after the detoxification phase, of course, because the reason why our sweat stinks is because our bodies are toxic and the skin is an eliminative organ. So we eliminate toxins through the skin.
Exactly. So you can ask her, how long you been raw?
Yeah. Did you already go through a healing crisis? If yes, that's a good sign. She will smell amazing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And he as well. Like the same applies to guys as well.
Yeah. So if your boyfriend stinks, ask him to eat raw vegan.
Yeah. And there's something surprising, perhaps, coming in the bedroom.
Yeah, like seriously, guys, eating raw would give you so much energy for your sexuality. Like you would feel you can do it for hours.
And like many times a day, if you want to use your energy that way.
Oh yeah.
Of course, you can channel that energy to other activities as well.
And also it helps us with having like kind of like ultra spiritual powers. So for example, lucid dreaming became really easy when we are kind of light, like our body when it's light. It's so easy to do lucid dreaming. It's so easy to do astral projection. It's so easy to see auras if you really are into this. So this is one of the advantages that we little bit tapped into it, but it's not our main focus. So we're more focused on being on Earth and seeing the color of nature.
And of course, you will have no constipation on the raw diet. Imagine how much fruits and vegetables you will be consuming. It's all fiber. Like you will go to the toilet, I don't know, 3 times a day, beautiful bowel movement.
Maybe this is the disadvantage actually.
I think it's beautiful. Like your body will love it. Like you're supposed to move that, you know, waste material through you quickly. You don't have to suffer from constipation.
Yeah. Maybe they will suffer from diarrhea.
In the beginning, you might suffer from diarrhea, actually. This was the case for me for like a month.
Especially if you eat dragon fruit.
Yeah.
Don't eat dragon fruit.
Be careful with that. And of course, you will find a balanced weight. If you're underweight or overweight, over time, you will get into a, you know, stable weight because and once you're eliminating things, you start to absorb things again. You start to absorb nutrition into your system. And whether you were underweight, you will gain back your weight. If you are overweight, you will release all the excess fat and edema from your body.
Yeah, for many people, going raw is a way to lose weight. For me, there was like my suffering, and after cleansing my body and cleansing my intestine, actually I start to gain weight, and now my weight actually stabilized at 68 or 70 something.
Yeah, and so like of course like the beauty reasons are there as well, because raw foods are very hydrating. This is amazing for your skin.
Just look at Miia. There is no makeup on her.
You know, wrinkles are not the cause of old age. They are the cause of dehydration, chronic dehydration.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and another thing for your skin, by the way, I don't burn anymore.
Oh yeah, we forget this. Like we tend to, like myself, I tend to burn so quick. And going to Ecuador after eating raw diet, Miia was laying down in the sun. I was like, I'm not worried about getting burned. I was like, for sure you're gonna be burned. And surprisingly enough, none of us get burned, and none of the raw vegan community. While we saw like other people really get burned really quickly if they're not used to this diet.
Yeah, and that's simply because when your body is well hydrated, it's no longer acidic. It doesn't react to heat in the same way.
Makes sense.
And it can repair itself much faster whenever there is heat damage.
Yeah.
Because when you burn, it's basically damage from the radiation. Yeah, I think that those are like already quite a few benefits.
Yeah.
There are more, guys. I think we're gonna make another video about this topic at some point.
And let us know in the comment if you have any question about this topic, if you are eating vegan, if you want to transition to a healthy diet. Miia is a detox specialist and she's very passionate about this topic. She helped me and many other people around her. So
yeah, so if you want
let us know
to have a call where I guide you, you can ask any questions you want. You can reach out to me.
Yeah, we are happy to help you on this. So yeah, later we're gonna make another video about what we eat as raw vegans. So if you want to see this, subscribe and click the notification button so you get an update when we release it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also why we eat vegan and why we think this is the first step that everybody should make on a personal level.
That's it for now.
Yeah. See you next week, guys.
See you guys.
Bye bye. Much love.
Rock and power.